Lindsay in Alexandria, and Brianna in Asia. I'm Bruce Springsteen, and I was an old friend of your dad's from back in the day. When I first met your dad, I only knew two things about him. I knew he had worked for Elvis, which I thought was great, and that he was Australian. And I don't think I knew any Australians. And we started to work together. He did the sound, and I learned very early on that Australians are unique. And we would spend hours together in the day at the studio board trying to get the sound right for the show at night. And he had ultimate patience. And I mean, we spent hours in the hall before people came in. We walked every single seat. We sat in every seat. We did for many tours, we did every single thing we can to give our audience the best sound that was possible. And Bruce was in the forefront of that and really revolutionized the approach to my sound on stage. Working with him was funny because he was an engineer, and engineers are strange people. First of all, they work with machines, and usually they work with machines by choice, and they chose working with machines over working with people. That's the way that's the package you get. So I don't know what your experience with your dad was, but Bruce had the ability to approach someone and say the most outrageous and insensitive things without batting an eye, and turn and walk out without even realizing he perhaps had offended a band member or someone in the crew. And it was just a part of his Australian engineer personality. So I don't know how that played out on the father's side of things, you know. Engineers can be abstract, hard to get a hold of. It's hard to get a hold of their mind, and which is something you always have to, in the end, try and share with your children. Of course, it takes one to know one. But the other side of Bruce was very, very loving. He was very warm. You know, he had Australian irony and iconoclasticness, but he was also warm, sentimental, actually literally sentimental. You get choked with emotion, you know, if at the end of a tour you told him how great the sound was, and he put his heart deeply into his work. He told me a few stories about Elvis. I have here displayed. This is a cane. This is Elvis's cane that was broken. And rumor had it that this was broken in a fit of wrath against Bruce Jackson. But no, I actually just made that part up. But when he worked for Elvis, he worked at the side of the stage, and just it was something that always struck me. I said, hey, I got Elvis's guy. Elvis's man is working for me in the house. But at the end of the day, he was just a good friend. He was a lovely friend of mine. And you know, they say that he loved flying. I know he loved flying. Always tried to get me up in the airplane and talked about it time after time. So there's the saying that it's nice, you know, that people pass doing what they love most, but I don't really buy that, because I know what he would have loved most was growing older with you. Love, Bruce. God bless.